Welcome back to Prima.Law, and today we're going to be talking about package assembly and how to use that to put your applications together more quickly, more efficiently, with fewer errors, and in a real streamlined manner. Now, using Prima, you've already seen how you can use a checklist, you can use smart interviews, you can use the forms, you can even upload files directly to Prima here as well. So what I'd like to do is to take a quick look at the feature that ties all of these together. So let's take a look at package assembly here. I've got one that was in process. We're going to edit that one. And let's open, first of all, the table of contents, because this is what we want to get to, right? We want to have our law firm information, our cover sheet, and a table that contains exhibit numbers and a list of all the forms and exhibits that are included in this packet. Okay, so here's a simple example. And what you can do is you can begin creating your packets one step at a time. First, you'll begin with the forms, then you'll add items from the checklist, then you'll go through the settings to define how you want to build your package. You'll generate a table of contents, edit that so you get your letterhead in there and your cover letter, and then you'll actually click to generate the package. Now let me take you through that one step at a time. So let's pretend we're starting this package from the beginning. Before we go into package assembly, I just want to be sure that we've got forms and that we've got roles assigned to the forms for these people. So we've got a G28 for Bill and a G28 for Day, I-130 for Susan and Steven. Okay, now this is just an example. Obviously, this is not a tutorial on putting together a successful I-130 packet. So we've got forms, we've got some files if we should want to add those, and we've got a number of items on the checklist here. Okay. Now, I will give you a big hint at the beginning. It's going to be a good idea to name your files appropriately. So if you're uploading a birth certificate for someone, name it birth certificate for this person, preferably with the name of the country, like US birth certificate, Mexican birth certificate, German birth certificate. And when you upload those to the checklist, do those in the same way. All right, now let's go into the package assembly tool. Now that we've made sure that we have forms, checklist items, and files ready to go, we're going to click New. Those items are going to load over here. We can expand each of these to see all the available forms. Now, whatever item you place first is going to be first on the list. So let's just add all these forms, right? Add all the forms. We don't need the printable questionnaire and we don't need the affidavits for marriage, but we'll include all the other ones. And just click Add. There we go. Now you'll see that there's an addendum for that I-130, and so it's sort of listed in a nested hierarchy. So it's a sub-item of the I-130. And that's fine. That's how we like it. Let's go now to checklist items. And let's say maybe we scanned in the money order for the filing fee, and we want to include that, and passport photos for the petitioner and beneficiary. We're going to add those. We could have added those first. Right now they're going to end up at the bottom of the list. Let's actually move those to the top, because typically when you're assembling a package, that's going to go above all the other items. The filing fee. There we go. Now, as we're looking at the items here, if we had labeled everything correctly when we uploaded it, you'd be able to see that reflected in the file names. So for the filing fee in the U.S. money order, I'm actually going to type in MoneyGram, money order number, and it's just the best practice to keep that information right on front of the table of contents, okay? Passport photos, so we're not going to call it Logo Bella, we'll call it photo of Stephen Bananagram. We could call this one passport photo for Susan. When we go to generate our table of contents, it will use the words as we have them typed here. And again, this is just pulling from the uploaded files that we use, so you can modify these here. Let's go add some more checklist items now, and those will get added at the bottom. So driver's license, birth certificate, proof of legal status, this other thing here. And I'm going to add those 8 items. Here they go in order. And you can see this one, this photo we never really changed the name on it, so we're going to change it here to proof of legal status, maybe medical bills. This one is just going to be a placeholder. It's just a blank image that we upload in that place. Okay, so it's starting to come together. We've got our packet, we've got the forms, we've got the checklist items. Let's go to settings here. And this is where you're going to choose the settings or the preferences for this packet you're generating. Do you want to include exhibit sheets? I do. That's my preference. I know USCIS doesn't care for them, but I work for me, not for them. And I want to be able to find things in a packet quickly when I have my case reviewer going through the case or when I'm reviewing it myself. So I'm going to include exhibit sheets. I don't need the page numbers on a USCIS petition, so I'll take that off. And the exhibit sheets, they don't need to start with the filing fee or the passport photos. They can start with the G28. That helps me keep things in order. Okay, we're going to click Save. Now I'm going to click Generate Table of Contents. And we're going to generate the table of contents to start indexing from the very first item. Let's click Edit. Now that this appears as table of contents, we've got this beautiful little table, right? It's got the details as we have entered them, the addendum. There's the old text, there's an image in there we haven't changed, and the rest of this stuff is here. Let's go up and hit Enter, Enter, Enter. That gives us some space at the top here. Now I can copy and paste from a Google document my letterhead. I'm going to click and tell it to be centered. Now, because this app is responsive, you may need to do this to see how it's actually going to turn out. Okay, I know that that image is the right size for what I'm printing here. And let's scroll down. So we've got items starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. I'm going to save that. Okay, and now we're actually ready to click Generate Package. So assuming this was all the documents I needed for this case, click Generate Package, click Generate. And here it's just going to tell you that it's going to be queued for processing. It does take a little bit more horsepower, so it's going to take, typically no more than 30 to 45 seconds for it to be completed, depending on the size. If you're dealing with a packet that has many more pages, it could take, up to a couple minutes, but typically, this is one of the tools we've built that is working faster and faster now. So we'll go back to our page here. We'll refresh. You can see it's queued, so it's still in process, so we'll keep refreshing until it's done. All right, so we have our letterhead image, we have our table, we have all of our items as we had defined it. What we didn't do, which we could have done, is in this table of contents. Oh, not that one, that's a different app. In this table of contents, let's go edit this. We could have added the date, the address that it was going to, the client, who it was for, and what type of case. And then we could always put the kind, oh dear USCIS, here is this amazing packet about this stuff. Okay. And at the end, you could even put a signature line, just down arrow, hit enter a couple times, sincerely, and put a signature line, James Betzold, Esquire. There we go. So you can pretty that up as you like. You can include how you like. I recommend keeping it in a table format. I recommend using the exhibit numbers and the exhibit sheets. If you'll notice this, let's just download this so we can let's open that in Adobe. And you'll see that once we do that, we can look at these page thumbnails to quickly reference an exhibit. So if I say, hey, you know what, I want to take a look at that driver's license. I know it's exhibit 7. You can just scroll through here, and the numbers are big enough on the exhibit sheets for me to read. I just scroll down until I get to number 7. Here we go. There's the driver's license. I could click on that and look at it more in detail. And this way, as I'm reviewing the case, I can double check information. I can just make sure things are not expired, things are up to date, that they meet our, that this image is fully scanned in, that the corners aren't cut off by the scanner or something like that, causing the application or the image for the evidence to be rejected by USCIS. So these are some of the tools that we use in order to make sure that the process flows smoothly. And as you can see, it's built on good fundamentals. If you're using the checklist, if you're uploading the documents to the checklist and using a standard naming convention so that when you're saving your files, you don't end up with IMG 5849, but you get something like passport photo for Stephen Banana Grandma's beneficiary, it's much easier to find these documents, put them in order, and use them in package assemblies. You get them in one PDF that's ready for review and signatures. And it looks great. So that's how easy it is to start using package assembly.